John here from the Professional Nail School and Beauty Academy. Today I'm going to look at application of gel polish. I often get asked what is the best brand to use. Well, in my opinion, most brands are exactly the same. So whether you buy cheap or expensive, I think you'll find that they go on pretty much the same. The main thing is that you get your preparation done well, and then from then on your polish should stay on. And of course, with the new hard gels, top coats that are out now, you find that chipping is quite resistant. Now, you'll often get your customer ask, how long will this gel polish last? Well, what you really need to use is two special words, and that's up to. So up to 2 weeks is a good thing to say. You will find some gel polishes that are supposed to last 4 weeks, but you're best saying up to 2 weeks, because you want to get your clients to come back on 2-week appointments. Now, gel polish will chip depending on what the customers are doing with the nails. So you don't know what they're doing with the nails once they leave you. They could be doing gardening, moving gravel about, maybe working in a supermarket, maybe on rattling change in a till. That's going to chip the nails. So what I'm saying is you don't know what they're doing with their nails. So it's best not to put a guarantee on your nails and just say up to 2 weeks, and try and get them back, as I said before, on 2-week appointments. Now you want to make sure that your table is all nicely set up. You've got everything ready for your client when they come in. I've got a sanitizing spray, which of course is very important, and this is a chemical called isopropyl, and this is for spraying your hands, client's hands, equipment, table area, anything that you want us to make sure that it is well sanitized. So you must have this. The other thing you must have is your barbicide. Barbicide comes in a concentrate. Put a capsule in here and fill it up to the line, and this is for all your metal tools that you'll be using. This is a nail white liquid. Now, nail white liquid is mainly used on top coats that are sticky after you've actually they come out of the lamp. Now, because a lot of people are now using what we call no wipe or non-sticky top coats, then you won't need this as much, but it's still useful for dehydrating the nail plates if you don't want to use acetone. But it is a chemical called isopropyl, so these two are exactly the same. So don't be fooled into thinking that a nail white liquid is something special. It's just isopropyl. We've got pure acetone, and I use this for removing gel polish off a client when they come back in after their 2-week service, and you will use pure acetone to do that. But you can also use this to dehydrate the nail plates. I've got some little lint-free pads, and these are much better than cotton wool to use when you're working with nails. I've got a 100-180 grit file. I like the 100-180 grit because they are much better to, instead of keep picking a file up and putting it back down, you've actually got one side rough, one side smooth. And don't forget to pre-prep this file before you use it when it's brand new. Another way is to take off the sharp edge with another old file, so that when you use it on your clients, you're not going to cut them. We've got a white block. This is a 100 grit white block, and again, this is a little bit sharp on the edges when they're brand new, but they are squidgy, so it's not the same as a file might cut you. Just be careful when you use it. I've got a plastic dusting brush. Now we use plastic because this is very quick to sanitize between clients. So you've got your next client coming in, you want to make sure that your brush is ready to use on your clients. All you've got to do if you need to get it quickly cleaned is to just run it under the tap, give it a good shake, and then spray it with your sanitizing spray, and then it will be ready for your clients, for your next clients. I tend not to use these fluffy brushes because hairs absorb bacteria, of course, and you might be spreading bacteria down your client's nails. If you spray, you're only going to cover the top. If you wash it, it's going to take 3 or 4 hours to dry. So I prefer plastic every time. Right, then we've got our range of products. We need a primer, and this is a non-acid primer. We've got a base coat, we've got colour coat, and we've got a no wipe top coat. Cuticle oil. So basically these are all the products that you need to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is to obviously remove any polish that may already be on the nails, and then I'm going to check the nails for any contraindications. Now this is another subject on its own, and we obviously cover this on our course, but basically you're looking for any nail diseases that may stop you doing the service. The term contraindications actually means that anything that's going to stop you doing the service. It's a good idea to use a consultation card, put your customer's name, address, details on that card so that you can greet them by the name next time they come in, and you'd also write anything on the card that may be of interest regarding the nails. For instance, like thin nails, heavy cuticles, bitten nails, jagged ends, thin nails, all those kind of things you'd write on the card. And obviously anything that you write on the card is subject to data protection, so you must store them in a safe place away from public gaze and never reveal anything on those cards to a third party. So once you've decided that you can now go ahead, you can, first thing I would do would be make sure I just sanitize those hands, and I would sanitize my own hands as well to make sure that I'm not spreading anything over with a cross infection of any type. Now we need to do the nail prep. Now nail prep is very important. So first of all, I would be using the smooth side of my file, and I would be filing the nails from this side and then from this side. So I'm never going to be sawing on the end of the nail with the nail file. So I'm going to be coming from this side and then from that side. Then I want to make sure they get all those raggy bits out from underneath, so I will do it like that. You can also use a glass file. A glass file is so smooth that you can go backwards and forwards underneath the nail like this. The next stage, after doing your shaping of the nails, is the cuticle work. So you get your cuticle pusher, and I've got one here. Make sure it's nice and dry, and then just push back the cuticle like so. And then I usually just trim it, pull it forwards again. If there's any loose skin, get your cuticle nippers, make sure they're really dry, and then just clip off any excess. Now obviously you need to be careful with those, but we do cover that on the actual course. Once you've done your cuticles, sometimes people do come in with heavy cuticle growing down the nail plate, and the easiest way to move that is just to file it off with the electric file. Now Skin grows on the nail plate around the sides and around the back, and it will also you also have natural grease in the nail plate, as well as oh, it's the ambulance coming past. Let that go past. Here we are. So you've got grease in the natural grease in the nail plate. You've got liquid into the surface of the nail plate, which gets in there from washing your hands with soap and water, and you've also can get grease in there from actually touching your nails like this, leaning on your face, messing with your hair, and also cooking and those kind of things. So we've got grease and liquid in the surface of the nail, and we've got the skin growing on the nail plate itself. Now the skin growing on the nail plate can be invisible to the naked eye, so we've just got to assume it's there. So once we've pushed back the cuticles, we need to attend to the nail plate surface, and that's where I use my electric file. So I've got sanding band on here, which is a 240 grit or higher, and they just pop on the top. You buy them in like a little packet like this, and then you just take this off and put a new one on. So you can use that. And when we are using an electric file, what we don't have is it running full speed like this. We take the speed right down until it's running a very slow speed. So now it's completely safe to work on the natural nail, with no burning, no thinning of the nail, and so on. So we must respect our client's nails. Now, I usually start off with a diamond bit. Now, the diamond bit is not like a carbide bit. It's actually fine surface on there. So again, I'm going to switch it on, and I'm just going to go round the back of my nail like this, getting right into that cuticle with my diamond bit, taking off any surface skin that is growing there. I need to go up this side. You can tuck it right in. You're not going to do any damage. Pull the skin away this side and come right down into those edges with your diamond bit. Because the machine is running very, very slow and I'm not applying any pressure, it's going to be quite safe. So once I've gone round the back with my diamond bit and made sure I've got all the skin away, I'm going to change the head, and I'm going to put on my sanding band, and I'm going to then just go back round the back again, and then up this side, down this side, and then I want to hold this now at 45 degrees to the nail plate, and I'm going to work with the grain of the nail. I'm going to keep it flat on the nail plate. So what I'm going to do actually is just rotate my finger a little bit, and then I'm going to pull it towards me in circular motions like this, working down the nail plate so that I cover the nail plate, all of the nail plate, with the electric file. Now I must stress, I'm not applying any pressure to this nail, and I'm also using a fine sanding band, and I've got it running at a very, very slow speed. That is very important. So this is the best nail prep you'll get, whether you're doing gel polish or acrylics or for gel extensions. Right, so let's just switch that back off. I'm just going to dust it off with my plastic brush, and there we have our nail prep done. So the next stage is to dehydrate the nail plate. So we've prepped the surface, and we want to pull the grease and liquids out of the nail. Now you can use pure acetone, so I'll get my acetone pad and I'm just going to wipe over the nail like this. Some technicians who maybe have got gel polish on their own nails prefer to use a isopropyl or nail white liquid. In one of the manufacturers they call it prep and wipe, but that's what it is. It's just isopropyl. So I've now got that clean. You mustn't touch it with your fingers again once you've wiped it over. That's very important. Right, so I've now got my lamp, and this is a 48 watt lamp, and it's got 60, 35 seconds and 100 seconds on the settings. I really like these lamps. At the time of doing this video, these are about £15 off eBay. There's no need to spend any more money on a lamp than that. These are absolutely fine. It's called the Sun One UV LED nail lamp off eBay. Right, so first thing to do is to put my primer on the nails. Now primers, they're called all sorts of fancy names, but really this is called Pro Bond, but they're all basically the same. Well, they are the same, and this is a non-acid primer. So we just get the primer and we just place it onto the nail that has been dehydrated. You don't need to flood the nail. It doesn't need a lot on there, so don't flood the nail and have it running all into the sides and so on. Then I'm going to get my base coat. So now I'm just get my base coat. Oh, they're all falling over. Get my base coat. Now you don't want to apply too much. Place it about here, just move it towards the back and then just drag it out like so. I hope you can see that. I'm just going to cap the end. And you do that on your 4 fingers and then it would go into the light, and I'm going to press 30 seconds. Right, so after my 30 seconds I'm now going to apply my first colour coat. Now this is a red. Red is people often say it's difficult to apply, which it probably is. That's why you have to do that on competitions. You nearly always have to use red. So I'm going to give you a little tip here. Right, so if I get some paper, I'm going to put a little blob of polish onto that paper. I'm going to get a little brush like this, a fine brush, go into my polish, and then very carefully, I hope you can see this, I'm going to just paint around the back like so. Very carefully. And I can go down this side as well, right up against where I want it to go. So we've now got that on the nails, and then we can then apply our first coat of polish without worrying too much about that perfect line at the back, because it's going to be perfect because you've drawn it on before. Here we go. So that now goes into the light. 30 seconds again. So there's my first coat. So I'm now going to go on with my second coat. Now what you must be careful of is that you don't get any on the skin. So before it goes in the lamp, always check that there's none on the skin. Then you can just 30 seconds again. So now apply our top coats. Sometimes you may need, with some colours, to apply a third coat, but usually most go on in 2 coats. So now I'm going to get my top coat and I'm just going to place it about here, move it towards the back and just apply my top coat. Now I'm using a non-sticky top coat. Just cap the end, don't forget to do that, but make sure you just brush it afterwards. Now if you do get a little speck in the nail surface, what you need to do is keep brushing it out till it comes off onto your brush, and then just wipe it on your own skin to get rid of the little speck. Don't wipe it on the paper, and then it should be alright to carry on with it. Now I'm going to go in for 60 seconds this time. So there it is, and because it's a no wipe top coat, it's completely dry. There's no need to wipe off a sticky layer. And I would always use a no wipe top coat now. It's definitely the best way to go. So now I've got some cuticle oil. I'm just going to place this all around the edges where the skin gets a bit dried up with the alcohol and so on, and then I'm just going to wipe that away from the surface without touching the top of there again. And there's our finished gel polish. So there's no mystery in applying gel polish. What's most important is your nail prep. That is like 100% important, because if you don't get that nail prep right, your polish will peel off and not last as long. Another thing that's important is to dehydrate the nail place, of course, and don't forget your primer. And then when you apply your gel polish, apply it in thin layers. No, don't use thick layers trying to achieve it in one coat, because all you will do is it might go lumpy on the nail place as it runs, or it might not cure all the way through, and then when you apply your second layer, you'll find that the first layer may crinkle up because it's shrinking in the lamp. The second layer is shrinking in the lamp and pulling the first layer underneath that's still soft, and then it'll all go crinkly. If that's the case, you need to file it off and start again. Right, so after 3 weeks, 2 weeks I should say, because we want to try and get them in on 2-week appointments, but most times they come back at 3. But try to get them on 2-week appointments. What you need to do then is to actually remove it. When they come in for that service, obviously it's grown out to possibly about here, and you've got the little new nail at the back. So what I do is I get my electric file with the fine sanding band on, and I just go all over the nail like this. Well, that's running a little bit on the slow side. I must have turned it right down. Go over the surface of the nail just to break through that top coat, because if you don't do that, you'll find that the acetone won't take off the polish, because your top coat could be a hard gel, in which case when it goes under the lamp, the hard gel, the actual molecules become cross-linked or joined together and in a chain, and acetone can't pull the chain apart. So you just go around all through the nail, but you know, you don't need to take the colour off, just go very carefully to take that shine off the surface of the nail. Once you've done that, you've got various options. You've got your foil wraps, or you've got your soak-off pots. So just get some acetone on your pad. Pop the finger onto your foils, put this onto here. Now this is going to be clever, isn't it, to do this without spilling it all over the place. Never mind. So just do a wrap around your finger, or the client's fingers I should say, and then just leave that there for up to 15 minutes, and then you will scrape off any remainder with a flat-ended tool. So we'll just leave that for a bit, and then we'll come back to it in a few minutes. So after 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to take this off, and then any polish that's still left I'm just going to remove with my scraper. And when a polish is first put on, it is more difficult to remove. So you probably find if it's been on a few weeks, it will come off a lot easier. I'll just scrape like this until it's all gone. And obviously, you won't be worrying about the cuticle area because it will be grown out to about here. So you'll be able to get behind the product and just scrape it away like that. And that's how you remove a gel polish. So there's all my gel polish removed. And of course the base coat's gone as well. We're now back to the original nail. So once we've done that, we just do our nail prep again, push the cuticles back and so on, clean round the cuticle area, just make sure that the actual nail is prepped, dehydrate it, apply the primer, and then reapply your polish as a new nail. So I hope that was helpful for you. So it's John here from the Professional Nail School and Beauty Academy, signing off for now until the next video. If you need me for anything, just leave a message below, or you can ring me on 07886 485 867. Bye for now.